What's going on, guys? This is Kaishiro. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. So in this video, we're going to cover top 5 tech cards to play in December 2024 OCG format post January 2025 ban list limit regulation. So we are going to cover the top 5 most spiciest and most unconventional cards that you may use to answer the current meta decks in this post ban list of January. So before we venture on our top 5 tech cards, we are going to assimilate what is the meaning of tech cards for our viewers that are not familiar with the terminology of tech card. So cards that see seldom play on the side deck and sometimes main deck of most people. So these cards are cards that doesn't really see so much play in side deck and sometimes main deck of people. And despite being unpopular, these cards can have so much value against the meta decks on the format. So even though they are very sleeper, they don't really see that much play. They can be really good against the best decks available, and also often labeled as spice or cards that may surprise the current metagame. So like I've said earlier, these are the most spiciest decks that you would play in this format, and it is in a linear perspective that this is very unconventional for most people. So moving on towards our top 5, we do have XYZ Encore. So this card saw some really huge resurgence on the previous October format due to the popularity of Ryzil, and we're going to see why XYZ Encore is still in our top 5 because it will answer the Ryzil matchup. So the thing with Ryzil is it lost 3 components of their consistency cards with 2x and 1 7 Tachyon, but I don't really see people giving up that fast on Ryzil. I think they are still going to play the Ryzil, especially for people who have invested so much money for the 7 Tachyon, and also the Ryzil core are pretty expensive. So you could expect them to still play Ryzil and probably innovate the deck. But on a perspective that Ryzil have been gutted from the ban list, I do think that Ryzil is still strong. It just lost some consistency cards, but it will not really die down or be extinct in the meta game. So I really expect that Ryzil would still be a tier B deck for the most part on this January format. And next can be very unexpected. So Exhibition Core doesn't really come up on a lot of side decks of most people. It is specifically just engineered to answer the Ryzil matchup. So you could tell that this card can be very unexpected. And also may answer the possible resurgence of Purely, because Purely got their delicious memory back into 3. So it may also be a thing for this January format, and Encore can answer the Nor. And once you out the Nor, you don't have any problems on the Purely, and of course, it will drastically improve your matchup against the Ryzil and Purely altogether. And moving on towards the deck that can be toppled by Encore, XYZ Encore, would be none other than Ryzil and also the possible resurgence of Purely. So moving on next, we do have our top 4 on this list. We do have a pointer of Red Lotus. So very old card as well, but it is seeing some representations on the side deck of some people on the remainder of the October format, and we're going to see why. So moving on, we do have a pointer of Red Lotus. So instant rip from your opponent's hand. So imagine that you get to rip any card from your opponent's hand cards, and that is massively strong against a blind matchup, against a deck that has a lot of threats on their hand, and also decks that caters towards one card combo starters. So it is really strong on that perspective, and also hard to play around if you don't have the means to out the appointer like Red Reboot, for example, or other cards that will stop this. I don't think that it is going to be stopped, and there are only few cards that could have an answer against a pointer. And also aids your kaiju-like threats, so we can have a better opposition against the decks like Runic, Labyrinth, all of those decks that likes to play Sphere Mode, and Kaijus, Lava Golems. So you can be pretty comfortable against those decks once you have drawn the appointer and you have a Band-Aid solution for those Kaiju-like effect threats on their hand. And moving on towards the deck that can be toppled by a pointer first would be Tenpai Dragon because they would rely on Sangen Kaimen, their uh, Pydra, and also their one of Chundra. So they would rely on Tenpai names, and if you snipe those Tenpai names on their hand, they could probably be a deck that will suffer badly because they only have a few cards that could procure their OTK. And next would be Runic. Of course, Runic is notorious for playing Spear mode, and the likes of the Lava Golem, so you could also hurt them with their side pattern of those cards. And also Labyrinth also plays Sphere mode, and the likes of the Kaiju and Lava Golem, and they're also able to play the Heavenly Prison to protect their back row. So you could also target those Heavenly Prison on their hand using the Appointer. So moving on next, we do have the top 3. On our list, we do have Anti-Spell Fragrance. So it has been long overdue that Anti-Spell should get the recognition that they deserve in this January format because they have been the Anti-Spell have been power crept by the likes of the Barrier and Solemn Judgment, which proved to be better and more effective against the previous October format. But right now, I think Anti-Spell is going to see some relevance. And yeah, moving on, we do have Anti-Spell. It is unpopular yet effective against the decks, and it is effective going first. And I think the Anti-Spell can nullify almost all of the back row threats on their hand, like Lightning Storm and Heavy Storm and Feather Duster. So you could be in a safe place to cancel out those cards if your deck suffers from that. And also the popular Ultimate Slayer, board breaker of most decks like Tenpai Dragon, Malice, and even the likes of Ryzil does patronize the Ultimate Slayer, no? So it is very effective against those cards, those spell. And next we do have Can Force Out interaction. So they are going to expend their Cosmic Cyclone, their Forbidden Droplet, almost of their almost all of their quick play cards will be subjected to use their effect as immediate as possible because anti-spell will nullify those cards once they haven't used those cards on that window. So it is a card that can force out early interactions from your opponent, and of course nullify spell cards. So almost one third of most decks, most meta decks right now, Voices Voice, Mementotlan, Malice, especially Malice, no? So a bunch of decks that will cater around spell cards, and those power spells are really integral towards their combo, their playthrough, and also things like talent, trust. Those cards are really played in this current format. So you could also cancel out those problematic cards. And next we do have the meta decks that can be tackled with anti-spell. First would be Tenpai Dragon. Of course, the usage of Droplet, Lightning Storm, Regeki, Change of Heart, and all of those back row removals like Duster and Heavy Storm can be answered with one anti-spell fragrance. And also Malice. Even though Malice have lost copies of Gold Sark and the Allure, they're still probably going to use those cards, and they would replace it with the Signet Mining. So you could also turn off their Signet Mining once you have anti-spell active on your side of the field. Moving on next, we do have the top 2. On our list, we do have Red Reboot. So this card was severely underrated for the most majority of October format. People have been neglecting Red Reboot for a good period of time. I think it's been 5-6 months already that Red Reboot have shown in this meta. But right now, I think Red Reboot is here for very huge, large reasons. And moving on, we do have the Red Reboot. So Red Reboot can single-handedly win you matches in game 2 to 3 once you have once your opponents have sided those going first cards, and also those cards that may halt your combos. I think Red Reboot will definitely have the saving grace towards your opponent, and also can be very effective when you use it on a condensed environment. When you know that your opponents uses trap-based decks, control decks, stun decks, and also you know their side pattern, they aside those popular trap going first cards, and yeah, possibly evenly matched, no? So you can definitely answer them more abruptly with Red Reboot. And also your antidote against Sanctum, Solemns, and Barrier. Huge emphasis on Sanctum because artifact sight was limited to one. Imagine that. What is even the point of limiting sight into one? It doesn't make sense. Doesn't really make sense, to be honest. The second and third sight doesn't do anything. It is not even played, no? So Sanctum will still terrorize people on this date with the still trend of the trust and the search of towards the Sanctum or the barrier or the things like Solems, which are more prevalent in this metagame. Things like Dragon Maid, Orcus always uses the Solemn Strike and Solemn Judgment. So Red Reboot can be your tool to answer those back row threats on your opponent's post game 2 and 3. Moving on towards the decks that can be tackled by Red Reboot, the rising popularity of Orcus is addressed with Red Reboot with their Crescendo, and also Labyrinth is going to have so much playthrough because decks like Labyrinth and Runic have been a comfort deck for a very large amount of people, and every time the format resets, people will go with Labyrinth or Runic because it is very comfortable, very safe. They have been playing the deck for a very long time, possibly 2.5 years already, and Runic and Labyrinth is just here. Those control decks are just here for a lifelong expectancy already. So Red Reboot can answer the trap orientation of Labyrinth and also the Runic Floodgates on their disposal. And moving on towards the top 1 of our top 5 deck cards, we do have Chaos Hunter. So boy, it was really interesting to see Chaos Hunter back again in the metagame. And Chaos Hunter is proving to be the best solution against the Malice matchup for the previous big events like the Campus League and the previous big locals, Yu-Gi-Oh! Air Championship in Japan and the China mainland tournaments. They have been hot on playing Chaos Hunter. And moving on towards the reasons why Chaos Hunter is our top 1 on this list. It is phenomenal against the Rising Orcus. We cannot deny the rising popularity of Orcus. If you have watched my previous video on the metagame report in December 21st to 22nd post QCTB or quarter century Trinity Box, the Orcus have been really perennial towards the tail end of our October format, and there's a bunch of people that are playing Orcus right now, especially in Japan. In Japan, Orcus is probably like the third most represented deck after the Ryzel and Wise Primate in October format. But now things have been rattled for the Ryzel, so it could shift the dynamics of the metagame in Japan and possibly the whole OCG metagame in a wider perspective because the Japanese is the standard or the baseline of most tier lists and most metagame reports in Road of the King, in almost even on my channel, Japanese has been the standard. So it could be transcending towards the major regions and other big regions like South Korea, China, Taiwan, no? So Orcus can be the next bigger thing in the OCG and also can be clutch against some of the best decks. We do have Orcus, like I've said earlier, and also Malice because it is originally used to answer the Malice matchup. So Chaos Hunter can be very prevalent against the next format considering that Malice have been gutted with the Allure and Gold Shark, but it is still very playable and the core of the deck is not touched. And also a Floodgate and a Beat Stick at the same time. So imagine that 2-5 attack, 1-6 defense. It is massive for a card that sits on the field and a Floodgate on top of that. Now imagine that you have a walking Beat Stick and Floodgate at the same time. So it can improve your damage output and also can beat down other relevant high attack monsters on your opponent's side of the field. Like even a Pulusa with 3 negates can be toppled with Chaos Hunter. No? So imagine that it is a very valuable asset on your side of the field once you have able to bring out the Chaos Hunter. And moving on towards the meta decks that can be toppled by Chaos Hunter, of course, Malice, the original successor of playing the Chaos Hunter on the metagame, the Malice, and the Rising Orcus, and possibly Orcus can be a tier A deck from point forward this coming January. And of course, Runic is just a stalemate for a very long period of time already in the metagame, and you could expect people shifting back towards Runic if they still don't know what to play in the new format. They would most probably resort with Runic. So yeah, that sums up our top 5 tech cards for December 2024 in the tail end of the year. So if you found this video informative and helpful, please consider subscribing. It definitely motivates me a lot to keep providing this content for you guys. So once again, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.